within the normal laws of physics.
Why do you have to use that voice as well? Now I understand this is very interesting right now, I'll be honest, but this guy's throwing me off with this. There not be a place in the world that they already have that, but it's just because of aliens. And they're just keeping it secret, because imagine everyone knows about this. It's I'm sold! Area 51's involved, Govies are involved, I'm still on the same page. My man go with physics or whatever. How do you know everything about physics? Yo, what's boys going on? It's your boy, man, and we're back for another video. Our boys and girls today, boys and girls, what we're going to do, as you read in the title, are we going to check out if aliens are actually real? Now, you might be asking, why the fuck am I doing this? Bro, listen, I've always been into aliens, but I've been into aliens, and in terms of aliens, I have been looking at it, and there was a point in first year university where, yeah, I went down a little dark hole where I don't know if you man have done it as well, but I'm guessing so as well, but I thought aliens were like proper real. And as of recent, I have seen a lot of TikToks about, you know what I'm saying, alien. There was an alien sighting the other month. Now, proof or not, I didn't really look into it properly just because I've left it behind. But now I'm back on this channel. I'm sitting here, you know what I'm saying. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you like the video, make sure you comment below something random and stuff for me to react. But it's not a reacting channel. This is different. Like, aliens actually real. Like, I'm trying to work out for myself. Like, it's been a while, 3 years later, haven't really looked into it. Now I'm looking into it. I even saw Logan Paul's video where on the podcast Impulsive that UFOs are real. They're not even called UFOs anymore, UFDs, something like that. We're gonna go through it today, and yeah, boys and girls, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Let's get into it.
What you're about to see is a former U.S. intelligence official in July 2023 testifying under oath regarding the U.S. government's interaction with unidentified extraterrestrial aircraft and their unusual pilots.
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries, yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment.
I'm sold. Aliens are real. I'm back. I'm sold. Like, what can I say? This guy is one of the big guys, and he's saying aliens are real. Biologically, he's using biological terms now, like proper science terms. Why would I not agree to this? Do you know what I'm saying?
Assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
No, your ears aren't deceiving you. United States Air Force officer and intelligence official David...
Oh, so he's the guy who rides airplanes everywhere, and he's the one who sees stuff. So if anyone was to go and see something, it's my man right here, this Baldy looks looking guy. Fuck. To be fair, he looks like Mr. Right. If you know, you know.
Grush, among other government officials, is genuinely claiming that we are not alone in the universe, and that, in fact, the U.S. government has been keeping the world in the dark about some truly crazy findings for years. Have extraterrestrials really been visiting and even spying on us for decades? Today, we'll be attempting to get to the bottom of that question. From mysterious snapshots of unexplainable flying objects to official government reports and a possible interview with an alien being, here's some of the best evidence we have proving aliens exist. By multiple highly reliable military...
Wait. Let me look at a comment.
personnel, and is probably the most striking proof of alien life, or technology, visiting Earth. And that's why I'm going to explain it first and in depth. We even have the footage to prove it. It goes like this. A naval strike group, led by the U.S. aircraft carrier the USS Nimitz, was conducting pre-deployment exercises off the northwest coast of Mexico in late 2004. On the 10th of November, the USS Princeton picked up unusual radar signals near San Clemente Island. These signals didn't appear as any known aircraft and would randomly appear in groups of 5 to 10 at a time. The senior operator of the radar system had almost 2 decades of experience working with these systems and was an expert with this scientific system at the time of the incident, so he was puzzled as to what was going on. Suspecting a malfunction, the recently upgraded Spy-1 radar was switched off and recalibrated. To everyone's surprise, this only led the radar tracks to become even stronger. They observed firsthand how the targets performed physics-defying feats. For example, the objects moved too fast to be birds, too slow to be conventional aircraft, and in some cases, descended from space to sea level in seconds. Imagine dropping in altitude from over 20...
Wait, you'll say in seconds from sea level to space? Hey, listen, I'll be honest, yeah? Here's my thing. If they're moving that quick, I'll be honest, we will never ever find them. Say they're walking down the street and they have little like, I bet they got sensors. Say like humans walk down, they sensor it, disappear 1 second. Like you don't need to care. Like I don't care if it's a spacecraft. They might just move like. What are we meant to do here? Like
20,000 meters in mere seconds. Now that's turbulence. Then the objects would hang around for hours. These observations were witnessed for multiple days. Each time they occurred, the crew would view these tiny specks moving irregularly in the distance through their high-powered binoculars on board. Then, on the morning of November the 14th, something extraordinary unfolded. Strike Fighter Squadron 41 took off from the aircraft carrier on a regular training operation when suddenly these mysterious radar tracks were spotted again. Lieutenant Douglas Kurth was instructed to investigate the unknown target approaching from the south. As he made his way to the coordinates, he saw a large disturbance in the water and claims to have seen something submerged just below the surface. He said it reminded him of a submarine or ship below the surface of the ocean. The strike group of ships did include the USS Louisville, a nuclear submarine, and it was in the vicinity, so it could have been the reason for the turbulence in the water, but what was witnessed...
a nuclear submarine? Does that mean like Hiroshima?
Later makes that idea seem implausible. You see, Kurth was joined by 2 other fighter jets, both containing 2 people each, the lead of which was piloted by Commander David Fravor. Fravor also claimed to have seen the disturbance on the ocean and described it as much larger.
I want to pause it there. See this guy, yeah? If you see him on the news, you know what he's up to. Brother, this guy looks like a monster and a half, but to be fair, see that jacket? See that logo, the 48? I'm not gonna cuss you. You probably are a nice guy. You can't... Yeah, my bad.
Than a submarine. As Kurth made his way back to the Nimitz, Commander Fravor and his wingman decided to take a closer look. Now, I'm going to show you the clip of Commander Fravor explaining this encounter in his own words in front of Congress, animating the story as he goes.
Let's hear it.
We arrived at the location at approximately 20,000 feet, and the controller called merge plot, which means that our radar blip was now in the same resolution cell as the contact. As we looked around, we noticed that we saw some whitewater off our right side. It's important to note that the weather on this day was as close to perfect as you could ask for off the coast of San Diego. Clear skies, light winds, calm seas, no whitecaps from waves. So the whitewater stood out in a large blue ocean. All 4 of us, because we were in F-18Fs, so we had pilots and Wizzo in the back seat, looked down and saw a white tic-tac object with a longitudinal axis pointing north-south and moving very abruptly over the water like a ping-pong ball. There were no rotors, no rotor wash, or any sign of visible control surfaces like wings. As we started clockwise towards the object, my Wizzo and I decided to go down and take a closer look with the other aircraft staying in high cover to observe both us and the tic-tac. We proceeded around the circle about 90 degrees from the start of our descent, and the object suddenly shifted its longitudinal axis, aligned it with my aircraft, and began to climb. We continued down another 270 degrees, nose low, where the tic-tac, or we considered 270 degrees to where, and we went nose low to where the tic-tac would have been. Our altitude at this point was about 15,000 feet in the tic-tac.
Wait. So out of everything someone in the government can say, whatever this guy is up there, yeah, they call it a tic-tac. Now that's not very like creational, because a tic-tac's this small. So you saying that thing they're seeing is this small. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, be a bit more clear. Say a white, ominous. Yeah, fair play.
Tic-tac was about 12,000. As we pulled nose onto the object, within about a half mile of it, it rapidly accelerated in front of us and disappeared. Our wingmen, roughly 8,000 feet above us, lost contact also. We immediately turned back to see where the whitewater was at, and it was gone also. So as we started to turn back towards the east, the controller came up and said, "Sir, you're not going to believe this, but that thing is at your cat point, roughly 60 miles away in less than a minute. You can calculate the speed." We returned to Nimitz. We were taking off our gear. We were talking to one of my crews that was getting ready to launch. We mentioned it to him, and they went out and luckily got the video that you see, that 90-second video.
As Commander Fravor's group returned to the aircraft carrier, He briefed the next
I'm not gonna lie, planes are so cool, but despite that, at the moment in time, there is a strong evidence supporting aliens existing. Now, hear me out. That speed is crazy. No, it's actually crazy. That's like time traveling. What? That means aliens can time travel already. I'm deep in. I watched the video and saying about dark matter and stuff. And so, say if you can move faster than the speed of light, you're fast enough to go forward in time. But say when you stop, you come back in the time, but you've moved like that quick. So you could age 30 years, come back and slow down again, but not come back, but just slow down after the speed of light, and you'll be in the same area as us, but just age more. That's kind of crazy. I watched it. What's the name? Italian Batch or whatever. He was saying on a podcast, yeah, and I was like, imagine me looking older, because I'm still getting ID'd in a shop, innit?
flight crew that was departing and told them to be on the lookout. The crew heading out was equipped with an advanced targeting, forward-looking infrared camera system.
Oh, fucking hell, an advanced targeting forward-looking infrared? I don't care. Just show me the aliens.
Which was controlled by the weapons system operator seated behind the pilot, who was Chad Underwood. Can we just appreciate that name for a second? Chad Underwood, the frat boy to rule all frat.
Hey, be amazed. A bit fruity here, mate. Why for that, mate?
Boys. Anyway, minutes after departing, Underwood locked onto something on his radar a few tens of kilometers away. Underwood said,
The part that drew our attention was how the object wasn't behaving within the normal laws of physics.
Why'd you have to use that voice as well? Now, I understand this is very interesting right now, I'll be honest, but this guy's throwing me off with this. It's 2025, isn't it?
Watch the video which supposedly recorded the craft. As you can
Here we
see,
go.
the black and white version of the video is in infrared, and Underwood changes to visible light, revealing the blurry oval object in the distance.
The tic-tac.
He then changes back to infrared and toggles his zoom numerous times. Suddenly, the UFO disappears off the side of the screen. He's seen with the naked eye, and Underwood nor his pilot made visual contact. Following their encounter, the Naval Strike Group continued detecting anomalous radar tracks for at least 2 more days. Skeptics have tried to explain the footage as being an airplane of some sort, but airplanes can't zip around the sky as if gravity is non-existent.
Yeah, no, they can't.
And whilst the
They
witness
can't.
accounts are so extraordinary that you may assume they're made up, consider that dozens of high-ranking and highly reliable military personnel have corroborated the stories. Commander Fravor, along with other witnesses, also claimed they saw an extended version of the video that was in a higher resolution, but it has never been released. All footage from the events were supposedly erased the evening of the day they were recorded. Numerous witnesses on both ships in the strike
Hear me
group
out. See the way it's got erased and everything? I don't believe aliens is not like something that no one knows about. I'm saying, see the govies all the way up there and the people higher ups. I bet aliens are somewhere that everyone. Oh, I've got a thing where like aliens live underwater, which is why the spacecraft go underwater. So they live all the way deep underwater because you haven't even looked at it. And then obviously aliens, like it's such as Area 51, they have aliens in there working. That's why it's called Area 51. They've got confidential areas where the higher ups can go, but the aliens are living there doing their thing. And say like this is crazy. Say for animals, say you're a gorilla, right? You're sitting there walking around, an airplane goes past you and you're above in the air. That's a UFO for an animal. So we're aliens to animals, do you get it? Now what's up? Obviously there's something up above us. The universe is huge, isn't it? So I think the aliens is a higher up. And now don't get me wrong, like there might be people in the future just doing their thing. They're just more advanced. So say airplanes going that fast. We've got the Bugatti Veyron. Don't even know if we could use that. But the speed can definitely be reached one day. Like, I'll be honest, the way science breakthrough happens every single year, there will be a time where we will reach these type of speeds. Don't get me wrong, it might take a long time. Why would there not be a place in the world that they already have that, but it's just because of aliens? And they're just keeping it secret. Because imagine everyone knows about this. It's collapsed. Like, a lot of shit can happen bad. say like America has the aliens first. Can't like any war happens here. Wallah, it's kalas. Like, I might be waffling here, but I do believe aliens are real.
Also claim they saw 2 men arrive by helicopter who collected the relevant data before wiping all the tapes and hard drives clean.
I'm telling you, the govies are on it. The govies are on it. Bro, listen, I've got my eyes on you. Why did you delete the data? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Yeah? Hey, Donald Trump, find out for us, man. Because I believe, oh yeah, FBI, CIA, there's something above that. These, man. You know what I'm saying? People working collaboratively with aliens.
The witnesses said they never saw anything like it before. Potentially, this could be evidence of a cover-up of some kind. Maybe the government is aware of the existence of alien life or technology, but they don't want all of us aware of them for one reason or another. Maybe the government assumes there would be a mass hysteria they would like to avoid, or maybe they're just keeping it a secret so our adversaries are kept in the dark.
I knew it. I just said... I cook. I told you, man.
It could also be the case that these sightings are just of top-secret military technology, like drones or aircraft that the government is taking active steps towards keeping under covers. We know they are developing incredible tech, but still, surely gravity-defying tic-tacs are a step too far.
Why is that a step too far? The World War II happened, yeah? And that is a good theory. It might not even be aliens. It might be actual, like, testing, you know what I'm saying, for the next war or whatever. And America are a step ahead. And it will be America out of everyone, I'll be honest. They're just there. You get it? Why would they want everyone knowing about it? You know what I'm saying?
We can only wonder what the flight crews saw that day, but my mind does wonder. All we know is that Commander Fravor estimated the craft to be roughly 12 to 15 meters long and looked like a tic-tac. Were the tic-tacs opaque, looking somewhat like the typical UFOs we're used to? Or did the tic-tacs have cockpits with alien pilots controlling the craft, only zooming off after their operation was foiled? Unfortunately, we will never know. But what we do know is that this wasn't an isolated incident, as I will warn.
Let's move on.
Area 51.
Area 51.
Rumors of extraterrestrial. You have to wonder if there's any truth to them all. For an astonishing claim to its are, then the answer is a big fat yes. See, Bob claimed to have been hired to work at Area 51 in the late 80s for an astonishing reason: to reverse engineer alien spacecraft. Lazar claimed all the way back in 1997 that the captured craft he was reverse engineering ran on an antimatter reactor, which was powered by a stable form of element 115, which wouldn't be officially created by our Earth scientists until 2003, and we can still barely stabilize it. Lazar said the reactor he studied was topped by a sphere the size of a basketball, which emitted a force field capable of repulsing human flesh.
Trading is only hard because you're not using this, or this.
He explained that the craft was split into 2 main levels. The reactor was positioned at the center of the upper level with an antenna extending to the top, surrounded by 3 gravity amplifiers. He said these functioned as a sort of guide for the gravity wave that forms into a heart shape around the entire craft, narrowing at the bottom. These connected to gravity emitters on the lower level, which can rotate 180 degrees to output an anti-gravity wave, and that the craft would then travel belly first into this distortion field. Basically, according to Bob, flying saucers fly sideways rather than upright, with opposable engines allowing the craft to move in any direction. Not only that, Bob also claimed he read briefing documents describing the historical involvement of Earth for the past 10,000 years with extraterrestrial beings, described as the typical gray aliens that were about child size, of which he had seen cadavers of similar size. To this day, all organizations where Bob claims he worked or studied vehemently denies he was ever there. Yet George Knapp, an American journalist who investigated Bob's claims, said that Bob displayed a knowledge of the facility that would only be acquired by someone who'd been there. Of course, some claim it's all part of a cover-up. Many even suggest he is a somewhat inexperienced techie, yet the guy built a jet car for fun and has been featured in multiple newspapers for his creations, so he's clearly a distinguished engineer. Bob even claimed they used a specific biometric hand scanner at the base, which measured the length of bones in your hand to authorize access to the base. That the government denied this at first, but decades later, the Department of Defense admitted they did in fact use it at Area 51 in the 80s for the stealth fighter program. And Bob confirmed the one they declassified matched what he had used. At any time, either of those organizations could have simply said that, yes, Bob Lazar worked for them and they deeply regret to hear of his degenerate mental state or something like that. But no, they still insist they don't know who he is despite all that. Why? It's not to...
I'm sold! Area 51's involved, Govies are involved, I'm still on the same page. My man, bro, tell me how an engineer like him describe all of that. Okay, I'll be honest. If you're tapped, you're tapped. You can make shit up. You can randomly come with mental health issues and do all that. It's at least you class up. He made a jet fucking car or whatever, isn't it? That's pretty crazy. You got, well, the FBI or whatever, they were saying that he wasn't even there, the hand stuff is bullshit. 10 years later, he got proved right. 10 years later. They thought he's like forgotten about. No. All I'm saying, yeah, the thing is, me saying all this, like, it's not gonna do nothing. Do you get it? Like, what are we gonna do with this? Like, I could sit here, look at aliens all day. I can't, if my man who's been there can't even show it proof, I can't find out myself. Do you get it? Like, I can never find that. And hopefully, hey, aliens, if you're watching this, and FBI, if you're watching this, I'm saying hi to the aliens, innit? Like, I want to make a YouTube video with you one day. Do you know what I'm saying?
Say we know he is telling the complete truth, but there's too many shadowy coincidences here for anyone to be comfortably skeptic. So are there any truth to Bob's claims? Well, he's maintained the same story for over 30 years at this point, and passed lie detector tests on the subject.
Passing lie detector tests. Huh? Hey, listen, this video is going to be long, yes. I'm going to split it to 3 parts anyway, so it's alright, but...
So, maybe? It's worth noting that the guy has been convicted several times of crimes since his testimony,
so boys and girls,
which his critics have used to discredit his story.
So boys, make sure you
but who knows? Was Bob telling the truth? Well, some of the sightings coming up might make you think he's telling the truth. Remember I told you that Tic Tac video wasn't an isolated incident? A similar encounter was filmed on the southeastern coast of America in early 2015. Those who recorded it have yet to come forward, but some crewmates and fellow pilots have provided some of the backstory, and it goes like this. Roughly 10 years after the initial Tic Tac sightings in the summer of 2004, a naval strike group led by the aircraft carrier USS Theodore Roosevelt led training exercises somewhere off the coast of Virginia. The encounter was strikingly similar to the previous one explained. Anomalous radar tracks were spotted and initially dismissed. Gravity-defying hypersonic objects were being detected defying the laws of physics. After double-checking all their equipment, they were certain what they were seeing had to be real. Early interceptions were initially unsuccessful, until one day, 2 jets no more than a few tens of meters apart narrowly avoided a mid-air collision when something flew right in between them. Although the pilots themselves haven't come forward, fellow F-18 pilot Lieutenant Ryan Graves spoke to one of the...
I was thinking this right now. See, they say, like, physics, it doesn't go with physics or whatever. How do you know everything about physics in the world? Do you get what I'm trying to say? How do you know... Like, okay, it doesn't work with our current theory. Does that mean that can't be explained? The fact that that happened, does that mean you, man, you fucking physicist, Albert Einstein lot, get up there, work it out, fam? Because obviously there's a lot of stuff that you guys don't know. And this is like the new stuff. And I bet there's other shit who cares about now. Yeah? Aliens are the next big thing. Like, if you want to get viral on TikTok and stuff, man, then, especially you fucking scientists, yeah, if you want to get viral, be popular, do your thing. All I'm saying, the physics, there's a lot in physics, like, fuck knows, man. Like, there's a lot in physics, and I don't know, like, You might just need to step it up. Like, it doesn't mean it's visiting that. It's happening right in front of you, so it can happen. Just work it out. You get it? Like, even like, yeah.
The pilots who landed and said the experience had visually spooked him. Here's what he had to say about the encounter at the UAP congressional hearing.
During a training mission in Warning Area Whiskey 72, 10 miles off the coast of Virginia Beach, 2 F-18 Super Hornets were split by a UAP. The object, described as a dark gray or a black cube inside of a clear sphere, came within 50 feet of the lead aircraft and was estimated to be 5 to 15 feet in diameter. The mission commander terminated the flight immediately and returned to base. Our squadron submitted a safety report, but there was no official acknowledgement of the incident and no further mechanism to report the sightings. Soon, these encounters became so frequent that aircrew would discuss the risk of UAP as part of their regular pre-flight
Oh, they call UAP
briefs.
This time, the craft was described as a cube encased by a translucent sphere. Obviously, both pilots must have been incredibly startled, so it's hard to figure out exactly what they saw in such a short space of time. But I've created a few images of the craft for entertainment purposes, and I've added a little extra aliens for fun. They didn't mention seeing them, but I like to think they were there. Anyway, Lieutenant Ryan Graves,
this brother who's making this video, yeah, too funny. I'm gonna give it to you, man. Shout out to my man.
said this wasn't an isolated incident, and that similar things had been seen by dozens of pilots for several months, and that the object spotted could remain airborne for up to 12 hours at a time. A few months later, in 2015, when the USS Theodore Roosevelt had made its way over by the coast of Florida, during a separate incident, pilots captured another clip that shocked everyone involved.
Dude, there's a going on, bro. There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
That's a UFO.
It's not an LNS though, is it? It's not. That is an LNS, dude. Well, if there's a look at that thing, it's rotating.
The interesting thing about this clip is that the craft captured seemed to rotate and fly in a fashion somewhat similar to that described by Bob Lazar.
That's a UFO.
The craft even has a heart-like shape, which resembles how Lazar claimed the crafts he reverse-engineered warped gravity around them. However, some debunkers claim the rotation seen in the video is an optical illusion caused by the derotation mechanism of the camera. That said, the two pilots themselves failed to recognize it as an image rotation. Surely, if anyone could spot image rotation, they would be the ones who would know what it looks like. Both pilots believe the craft actually rotated. Even Jeremy Corbell, an electro-optical engineer and expert in the ATF LIRE camera system, explained it's not an optical illusion.
Thank you,
Besides,
brother.
if it were an optical illusion, that doesn't explain what the pilots remarked about in the following clip.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh.
What fleet?
They're all going
Like a
against
lot.
the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west.
It seems nothing yet has explained how...
This is the most that's the best. That's the best proof I've seen so far. So boys and girls, we're gonna end it here and carry on for part 2 edits. So boys, make sure you hit subscribe button, make sure you like the video, make sure you comment on random. We're gonna end the video here and we're gonna start recording for the next part, which will be out soon.